The rain had been falling non-stop that Friday morning in downtown Seattle. The streets were slick with water, and the gray clouds hung low, making everything feel heavier than usual. Inside a small old coffee shop, tucked between a law office and a laundromat, a young woman worked quietly behind the counter. Her name was Emily Carter, 28 years old. Her clothes were old, a faded brown cardigan, jeans with worn-out knees, and sneakers that had seen better days. Her hair, tied loosely in a bun, was slightly frizzy from the damp weather. To the customers, she was just another barista, polite, quick, and invisible. But behind those tired eyes was a story no one knew. At the same time, a man named Nathan Cole, 32, was sitting by the window, absorbed in his laptop. He wasn't dressed like a billionaire, a simple gray hoodie, jeans, and sneakers. No bodyguards, no luxury car parked outside, just a man trying to escape the noise of his corporate empire for a few quiet moments. Nathan was the CEO of one of the fastest growing tech companies in America, Cole Dynamics, a man who had everything except peace. That morning, his life was falling apart. A major deal had collapsed, investors were pulling out, and the board was threatening to replace him. He rubbed his temples, staring blankly at the raindrops racing down the glass. When he went to order another coffee, he accidentally spilled it all over the counter. "I'm so sorry," he muttered, flustered. Emily grabbed a towel immediately. "It's okay, really. Happens to everyone," she said with a small, understanding smile. Her voice was soft but steady, the kind that calms chaos. Nathan looked at her for the first time. She didn't look like someone who had much, but her kindness had a warmth that money couldn't buy. He noticed the faint scars on her hands, maybe from long hours of work, and the faint tiredness behind her gentle eyes. "You're too calm for someone working in this storm," he said, half joking. Emily chuckled. "When you've lived through enough storms, the rain doesn't scare you anymore." Her words struck him deeper than he expected. For weeks, Nathan kept coming back, always sitting by the same window, always ordering the same black coffee, and always finding comfort in short conversations with Emily. She never asked who he was or what he did. She just listened. She told him about her life, that she worked 2 jobs, was trying to pay off her mother's medical bills, and dreamed of becoming a nurse someday. One evening, when the shop was almost empty, Nathan asked her, "Don't you ever feel angry at how unfair life is? You work so hard and still struggle." Emily smiled faintly. "Sometimes, but I remind myself, I don't need to be rich to make a difference. If I can help one person smile, that's enough." Her words stayed with him. A month later, Nathan's company finally stabilized. He had made tough decisions, rebuilt his team, and regained control. But in his heart, he knew it wasn't the board meetings or strategy plans that saved him. It was the simple wisdom of a poor girl who made him see life differently. Then one day, Emily stopped showing up. The coffee shop manager told Nathan she had quit. Her mother had passed away and she had to move out of town. He felt a sudden emptiness he couldn't explain. Years passed. Nathan's company became a global success. He was on magazine covers, Forbes lists, and charity boards. Yet, every time it rained, he remembered the coffee shop girl with the worn-out cardigan and the steady smile. Until one evening at a hospital charity event in Los Angeles, he saw her again. Emily, in a nurse's uniform, helping an elderly patient into a wheelchair. She looked different, healthier, confident, glowing. But Nathan knew it was her. Their eyes met, and for a moment, the noise around them faded away. He walked toward her, smiling. "Still helping people smile, I see," he said softly. Emily froze for a second, then laughed. "You remember that?" "I never forgot," he replied. Neither of them knew it then, but that meeting would change both of their lives, forever. Nathan couldn't believe his eyes when he saw Emily again at the hospital charity event. She looked different, confident, calm, and radiant in her nurse's uniform. After the event ended, he waited by the hospital entrance until she came out. When she saw him, she smiled in surprise. They went to a small cafe nearby. The rain outside tapped gently against the glass, just like the first day they met. For hours they talked about life, loss, and the years that had passed. Nathan told her how her simple words once gave him strength when he was at his lowest. Emily told him how she never forgot his kindness at the coffee shop. From that night, Nathan began visiting her often. He'd stop by the hospital under the pretense of donating to charity, but everyone could see the truth. the billionaire had fallen for the nurse who once served him coffee. And Emily, no matter how she tried to hide it, felt the same. A year later, Nathan proposed to her, not at a mansion or a hotel, but at the same coffee shop where they first met. He had secretly bought the shop and restored it to look exactly as it once did. When Emily walked in, she gasped at the sight of the familiar place. Nathan took her hand and said quietly, "This was where you changed my life. Will you spend the rest of it with me?" She said yes. Their wedding was simple and beautiful, held by the ocean with close friends and family. When the news spread, everyone was shocked. A billionaire married a poor nurse. Some called it unbelievable, but Nathan didn't care what the world thought. For him, it wasn't about wealth. It was about the woman who saw him as a human being before anyone else did. Months after the wedding, Nathan was organizing some old papers in his study when he found an old hospital record from years ago, back when he was still struggling to survive. His eyes caught something strange on a page. Anonymous donor, $1,000, emergency medical assistance for Nathan Cole, 2015. He froze. That was the year he had been in a car accident, broke and alone. Someone had paid for his hospital bill, but he never knew who. His hands trembled as he looked at the signature at the bottom of the form. E. Carter, Emily. He found her in the garden that evening, watering flowers. She looked up, smiling as he approached. "Emily," he said softly, his voice shaking. "Why didn't you tell me?" She looked at him, confused at first, then understood. Her smile faded into quiet honesty. "You wouldn't even remember me back then," she said gently. "You were unconscious. I was just a trainee nurse. They said you couldn't afford the surgery. I didn't want to see someone die if I could help." Nathan stared at her, speechless. "You saved my life," he whispered. "Long before I ever met you again." Emily's eyes filled with tears, but she smiled. "Maybe we were meant to meet twice. The first time, I helped you. The second time, you helped me believe in love again." Nathan pulled her into his arms, holding her tightly under the soft glow of the evening light. From that moment, he knew. His greatest success wasn't his company, his wealth, or his fame. It was finding the woman who had once given everything she had to save a stranger. And in the quiet peace of their home, the billionaire and the once poor girl lived a life built not on riches, but on gratitude, kindness, and love that began long before either of them knew it.